I told you I wanted to bring up a retro video of yours, and I want you to react to it. It's funny.
Freaks come out at night.
All right, so I wanted to do
He reminded me, you know, every time I think of the Democratic Party, I think about it. Well, not every time, but most of the time I think about him. He's so.
But you had a special guest during
I
this
know,
segment.
Rick James.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play it.
And
Can I play
this
some of
is
it?
crazy, but go ahead.
Okay.
Jerome claims the guitar and effects box were stolen from his car. Now here's Judge Joe Brown.
Everyone rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Joe Brown presiding. Please be seated and come to order. Your Honor, this is the matter of James versus Turner, case number 335.
Thank you, Miss Holly.
Welcome.
Mr. James, you're suing Mr. Turner. You've alleged that he borrowed one of your guitars and some other assorted equipment and that it was stolen and he has not compensated you for the loss. Is that correct, sir?
Exactly.
Is that right, sir?
This is true, Your Honor.
All right. Tell me about it, Mr. James.
Well, I've been knowing Mr. Turner since around 1985. You know, he's a fellow musician like myself, and he used to hang around the studio, and so we became friends. And, you know, I show him guitar chords and, you know, help him out, and he'd, you know, make errands for the group. You know, he wanted to be around music, and I kind of took him in, almost like, you know, like a son. And showed him around the studios, and so when I was recording albums, he'd be around, and he had his own little group and stuff. So we continued this relationship for a while, and he got his own band. You know, he had a couple bands, and you know, he was trying to make it, doing demos and recording sessions. Well, about 6 or 7 months ago, he had come into town, and his equipment, his guitars and his amp, had not arrived, or something happened. And he called me up, and he asked me well, he needed a guitar, and he needed an amp. So I lent him my, I bought a guitar. I have a bunch of guitars. This particular guitar was, you know, and he had seen it before. He had kind of liked it. And a Kurtzweiler amp, which is a box that contains a lot of effects and stuff, which I have the receipts if I could present them to you. It was like $3,800 for the Kurtzweiler, and the guitar cost me a little over $1,700. I have the receipts right there.
You've seen these, sir?
No, I haven't, but I will take Mr. James' word for it.
Pass them, Miss Holly, to Mr. Turner.
Thank you.
All right.
Anyway, if I may continue.
Yes, sir.
He called me up. He was in desperate, dire need to. He had some kind of gig he had to do, and he had called some other musicians, and they weren't around. So he called me up. I said, "Sure, you know, here, I'll let you use the Kurtzweiler, because you know I'm all about helping musicians. You know, if you're a friend of mine, I think you're a friend of mine. I'll give you the world." He told me that he had taken the guitar and the amp and put it in his car. Somebody had broken into his car, taken the guitar, and taken the amp.
So I take it you've not had the guitar returned, and you've made a claim to him for the loss.
Yeah, I mean, I told him. I mean, I didn't really get into detail how much things were worth, because money is really not the objective with him. It was friendship. This stuff, you know, it costs a little money, man. You know, I'm building my life and my career back together. Pay me. I said, whatever's conducive for you, you know. So I said $200 or $300. So we worked out a thing. And he ended up paying me. He gave me a couple of payments. I think one time he paid me $200. Sent me a payment another month of $300. And the payment stopped. I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah, but why?
500? Wait a minute. Yeah, but we'll get into why. Hello, you just hold on for. I'm sorry.
It's $500 you got.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right.
He's going to get into this thing, but seeing that this is my time to talk, I'll just finish telling you. Then we got together at a Club Billboard on Sunset, a bunch of us, and people were drinking a little bit, and no slight on my friend JT, or my used to be friend, but you know he's there's a little sugar in his tank, you know. I mean, there's a little I mean, he's a little sugar going on up in there.
Don't say that, Rick. Don't say that.
What he's basically homosexual, okay? Now I have a problem with that, because I love him still, okay? I mean, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm straight, but I don't have a problem with homosexuals. You know, they're in my life. I love them. I embrace them. I don't have a problem with it. This particular night, he had a little bit too much to drink, and you did have a little bit too much to drink. And
I take it this has something to do with his failure to pay off the balance.
well, yeah, I'm getting to that. And you know, so all of a sudden we're all, you know, around the bar, and a bunch of us are talking, and I get this hand on my butt, you know, and the hand is like there for a few 40, 60 seconds, you know, and then there's another hand on my butt, and I look around, and it's JT. Now, hello. And then he goes into comments, well, you know, Rick, it was an accident, you know, or something. The hand was on my butt 40 seconds. How, 40-second accident? Your hand squeezing your butt?
No, that's not what happened, man.
It was at least 40 or 50 seconds.
All right, we got that.
Both buttocks.
All right, 2 hands full.
And so I went off on him, okay? You know, I got friends around and stuff, you know, and I know he likes me, you know, and I mean, I never thought it was that way, a sexual kind of thing.
And it's not.
I never thought it was.
Don't interrupt.
And I always try to explain to him, Super Freak was just a song I wrote, okay? It was just a song. It really didn't mean a whole lot of things. It was just a song that made me some money and it got me famous, but it really did not entitle hands on the butt. There were no men's hands on my butt. That's a no-no. And I tried to tell him that, and I went off on him, and maybe I was a little loud, and maybe I was a little boisterous, and I embarrassed him, but after that, the hands continued off my butt. Then I left. I didn't see him no more. I didn't hear from him no more, and I haven't got any payments, and I would like to get paid for my loss of my guitar, and he could carry on his life. He don't ever have to speak to me in life, and it's a sad thing. And
Yeah, but see, you
that's
take
pretty.
I want to pause it right there real quick. It still got more to go. Do you remember how you?
Oh yeah, I
on this?
remember that. It's got a whole bunch of millions of views, and I'm in dispute right now with CBS about them not giving me residuals for what they have gotten.
That's because they're not airing this, and I'm glad they're not, because I won't get a copyright. However,
Yeah, but see, I'm entitled to residuals because somebody.
that's if they air it. If they air it, then you get it. If they don't,
I know, but they cheat. See, CBS, Paramount, they're all part of Viacom. They cheat like hell. You know, this truth.
this says Fox. This is Fox.
Yeah, I know, but Fox.
I don't know, but
See, in other words, Fox carried 78% of my show, and the other 22% were an affiliated station, some of which were CBS, some were Paramount, but it was Paramount Television and then CBS syndication that produced the show. It was me, Judge Judy, Oprah Winfrey, and Dr. Phil in the same unit under Roger King, who was running King World. His daddy had invented television syndication.
okay.
So we were doing well, on top of the world, but you know,
Might
right
I
now
add-
they owe me a bunch of money, and the statute of limits ran because the lawyer I hired turned up missing, and nobody's seen him for a decade.
Well, might I add, you are looking rather sexy in this video.
Oh yeah, I mean, no,
Oh yeah, you can't even say thank you though. Yeah.
thank
All
you.
right, I want to finish. It's about 4 more minutes.
All out of contact, Rick, and you know you are.
Now, what do you have to say about this, Mr. Turner? You got the guitar?
Yes.
All right. Now,
This is true.
what happened to it?
It was stolen. That part is not the issue. Okay. He's saying that I stopped the payments. It's true, Rick or Mr. James, he did call me after we had to
You
talk
still
about.
call me, Rick. It's all right.
Okay.
Just pay me.
Okay. He did call me several times after this incident, which was taken out of context, but I'm not going to speak on that. I did not call him back. This is true, because I didn't see the point in calling you, Rick, knowing I probably get insulted. Not saying I'm not going to pay him. I'm not saying that, Your Honor. But I do think, Rick, that you was wrong. I thought you knew me better than that, but you really don't. You really don't.
I'm sorry, but I thought I did too. Your Honor, I have had situations where I've had friends. I mean, alcohol, I'm sorry, but alcohol induces...
It had nothing to do with no alcohol. I'm sure Mr. James would have far more scandalous episodes than just a pat on the behind. I don't mean any disrespect.
JT, you can say what you want. You can say what you want all night long. But the bottom line was that he was out of line. I checked him about it, and I did check him, Your Honor. But I had a lot of love for this man. This man lost a serious guitar of mine
That's not the issue.
Okay,
That's
and
not
that
what
is
you're
the issue
bringing up.
that I'm dealing with.
You bringing up a character reference.
Well, are you not gay?
Hold on. You ask me my personal business.
Hold on.
Going along.
He's stepping on me.
Gentlemen, come on. Mr. Turner.
Stay here.
Over there. That's
Thank
what
you,
he's complaining about. You got too close to him the first time. Now let's deal with the issue. We're talking guitar, talking money now.
Judge Joe Brown continues in a moment.
Why don't you two try to make up your differences, whatever it is?
See where you're looking at me? See where you're looking at me right now?
I see, but we're not talking about looks. We're not talking about personal orientation.
And later today, father figure to the defendant. That's why he loaned him some equipment. But he says he has not been paid for that equipment and it has not been returned. The defendant says that's because it was stolen. Let's listen.
It's not an unreasonable amount of money for the guitar nor for the mouth. Now, the point is when you had it in your custody and your care, then you were responsible for that. It got stolen. You owe the money. You agree to that, right?
Yes.
Now, why don't you two try to make up your differences, whatever it is? You know, you professionals, you know.
Yeah, but he's impossible.
I understand.
He's impossible.
I understand.
You know,
Well, let's not even go there. Let's not
escalate.
even go there right now. We're talking money and a guitar and an amp. We need this guitar replaced. So maybe if you compensate Mr. James for the loss of the instrument and the amplifier, then we can get back to square one. Now, what we're claiming here is $4,600. Is that correct?
Yeah, minus whatever, minus the 200 or 300. See, wait a minute, Your Honor, if I may just say something, Your Honor, I'm not looking to have a further relationship.
All right,
with
well,
Mr.
we don't
Turner.
have a further relationship.
I just want my money for what I paid.
You're about to get it.
My thing.
You're about to get it. All right, now, $4,600 is what this lawsuit is about. That's what you asked the court for.
See where you're looking at me? See where you're looking at me right now?
I see, but we're not talking about looks. We're not talking about personal orientation and whatever. We're talking about guitar, amplifier, and money.
That's all I'm talking about.
All right. You have any dispute over the value, Mr.?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Turner, then you owe that. That's $4,600, Mr. James. That's what you asked for. That's what you get.
This court is in
All right.
recess.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I need you to step out and to your right, please.
You're going to get paid for the equipment. How do you feel about that, first of all?
I feel good about that. I mean, that's all I ever wanted.
What about the friendship?
I mean, you know, he's going to pay me for the guitar and stuff.
Oh, a handshake before I've even asked.
You know, I've been on this, you know, he's a great guitar player, he's a great guy, and I don't bear any malice, you know, and I love him. And if I was homosexual, he'd be my wife.
That has nothing to do with it. It's all right.
But, you know, it all worked out fair, and that's the main thing here.
Memories.
There was more stuff in there that's not being shown, but anyway, it's funny.
Do you remember that? And how is?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was
funny.
one of the more interesting cases.
You said it's not about personal orientation; it's about the guitar and amp.
It was, see, they cut out the part about when he was doing time, and he said, "I don't play that anymore."
Yeah, you know what? I do have that clip though, and why? Because this full clip did cut that part out, but I thought I saved.
Yeah,
that clip. I'm gonna bring it up in a second.
There was more to it. See, what happens is the commercial model on television, cable or otherwise, is on a 30-minute segment, you get 14 minutes of content and 16 minutes of commercial. So you get more commercial than you're getting content. So what happens is if we had 2 cases per half-hour segment, you're getting 7 minutes per case. So sometimes it would take 45 minutes, an hour to do the case, so a lot of the stuff would be edited out. It'd be live to tape. I mean, there wouldn't be any rehearsals. There would be no script. And since the California Supreme Court in 2000 issued a 23-page written opinion on the matter, they held that what I did was under the California arbitration and judicial statutes, mediation, arbitration, and judicial statutes. It was enforceable in the entire state of Tennessee. I mean, in California. I had contempt powers, and it was real. And then the U.S. Supreme Court, dealing with Judge Alex in 2007, said the whole thing was enforceable nationally under the Arbitration Act of 1928, which dealt with trucking concerns and situations about choice of venue. In other words, what state's law is going to apply to a case when there's interstate shipment. So it was real, and other than Judge Alex, and he got his because of an agency situation, his decision against him, but I was the only TV judge that was actually doing official work, and I never did say judge show. I said arbitration. I said this is an arbitration proceeding. So yeah. Well, yeah. See, we had some interesting. Ike Turner was on there twice. He and his new wife. Well, his wife at the time. They had a foundation and they put up money for abused women. And if the woman left the abuser, then it was a gift. If she went back, it was a loan. And they had two cases that I heard on separate occasions where the woman went back, so they were trying to collect on the loan, which doesn't match what they put out against him public relation wise. But anyway, we had stuff like that. We had some other people. I mean, you'd be like, I got honored in Indianapolis. I got a tour of the Indianapolis 500 Speedway. And some idiot came on the show to sue another idiot. What had happened was he was working for a chop shop. And he decided to moonlight, so he sold this woman a brand new Chevrolet, whatever the current year was at the time, for just $2,100. It was admittedly stolen. So one of her friend girls went to buy an Impala, brand new Chevrolet, current to the year in question, for $2,600. And it was not what she wanted. And the guy she got it from wouldn't give her money back. And I wound up discovering that they had broken the car down and sold it for parts in interstate commerce. So as a result of what these fools said, they wound up busting 25, 30 people, and they had this mass indictment. And the guy that came on wound up dead a few weeks after the show was aired because they killed him, the people that he was working in the chop shop for. We had stuff like that happen all the time. There was another one I got honored because of a mass indictment, because a sister was suing her brother because the brother was letting some people stay in an apartment that he and his girlfriend were conning the state. Just very quickly, they were sitting there suing each other because one of them was getting more advantage than the other one from both of them breaking the law. So everybody wound up going to jail, including about 20 more other people that were running this scam. See, you get all kinds of craziness. Like, why do you come in here? And see, I had attorney generals from all over the country calling me about one particular one where there was a scam that was spreading as a fad on ripping off federally insured credit unions. And it's like, do you realize what you've come in here to say? You know you're breaking federal and local law. You don't expect anybody to deal with this. Nielsen said this is the most watched syndicated show in America. Maybe not every day, but over a 10-day period, there are more humans watching this than any other syndication. You don't think somebody in law enforcement is watching your dumb behind come in and say what you're saying? Yeah, they do when they get indicted.
So the part you said that was missing when Rick James was saying when he was in prison, did you want to speak to that? Because
I mean, it was just he said, I don't play that anymore, but it was kind of funny, the delivery.
It looked like you was trying to prevent yourself from laughing.
I was. See, sometimes the hardest thing in the world as a judge is to keep from laughing. I mean, in the real world, in front of state court, I mean, there was one case I was presiding over, and it was absolutely ridiculous. The defense lawyer was just farcical in her particular incompetence. And I'm sitting there with a dilemma. I'm holding my breath because if I breathe, I'm going to bust out laughing in a real courtroom. All right. If I don't breathe, I'm going to pass out from lack of oxygen. Now, I've got advanced certifications in diving, so I can hold my breath even though you aren't supposed to. I can do oxygen and breath management. I'm sitting there going, if I don't do something, I am going to pass out because I can't bust out laughing. So I got the idea. Oh, and I took my pen and wrote on a yellow pad. I was trying to write recess, but I was beginning to fade, so I couldn't spell recess anymore. So I had this last revelation. I wrote, "We'll take a break." And I held it up and the jury saw it and they busted out laughing. And then I could laugh and everybody ran out to the jury room. So, I mean, it happens.
Yeah. No, that was funny. I really enjoyed that. All
Well,
right.
you should have seen another one. Real idiot. Got up on the bench where my clerks were, had put all of the state's evidence out on the floor between where I was on the bench and where the jury was across from me. And one of my clerks is going, "Yana, she's getting up on the." I said, "Let her. I have to see where this goes." So this fool got up there and was saying, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state's been trying to get my client to take a dive." And this fool executed a perfect swan dive off of the clerk's bench and hit the floor. Poof! And knocked herself out. Now, everybody was just hollering, including me. And I said, "Officer Williams, would you please call 911 and see if they can come and tend to Miss whatever her name was at the time?" I'm not going to say. And yeah, sometimes you have to laugh because humor is always a good part. And a lawyer who can manage humor will keep his jury attentive to what he's saying, while the other guy, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury," he's putting them to sleep. They don't even hear what the hell he's saying.